My mom called me at 2 in the morning, not to check on me, not because she missed me. She called to give me one instruction: keep your mouth shut. I was 34 years old, a litigation attorney. I argued cases in federal courts. But to my mother, I was still the daughter she was embarrassed of. What happened the next night at that dinner table changed everything, and it all started with one question from a federal judge. My name is Amelia Carter. I am the invisible child in my family. Growing up, our living room had a long wooden shelf filled with framed photos, 5 pictures of my brother Daniel, baseball, church, birthdays, awards, and exactly one photo of me, hidden behind a vase. You had to literally move the flowers to see my face. When I graduated second in my class, my mother skipped the ceremony. Daniel had a baseball game that day. He didn't even play the entire time, but she cheered for him like he was the star. I walked across that stage alone. Years passed. I earned a full scholarship to college, then law school. By 30, I was arguing civil rights cases in federal court in Washington, D.C. But back home, my mother told everyone I did office work, vague enough that no one would ask questions, specific enough to erase me. For years, I told myself it didn't matter. I was lying to myself. Then came the call. My brother Daniel was engaged. His fiancée, Lauren's father, was a federal judge, respected, connected, powerful. My mother saw one chance to finally impress the right kind of people. Her instructions to me were specific. Don't talk too much, don't mention law, just say you work in an office. I sat in the dark after that call, thinking, why does my success mother uncomfortable? But arguing felt pointless, so I agreed and drove 2 hours to play the role she'd been casting me in my whole life. When I arrived, the dining room looked like a magazine spread. Crystal glasses, fresh flowers, special occasion plates, 8 carefully arranged chairs, and my seat at the very end of the table, far from the important guests. As always, Lauren arrived first. She was warm, curious, genuinely kind. She looked at me and asked, "So what do you do in DC?" Before I could open my mouth, my mother answered, "Oh, Amelia just works in an office." Lauren nodded politely, but I noticed something. She looked confused, like she wasn't sure why my mother answered for a grown woman. Then the doorbell rang. Lauren's father walked in, tall, silver hair, sharp eyes, the kind of presence go quiet without trying. And the moment he saw me, his expression changed. During dinner, my mother bragged about Daniel without stopping. Big deals, promotions, running the dealership. Half of it wasn't true, but she said it like scripture. I stayed quiet, like she asked. Then the judge stood up to give a toast. He spoke about family, about honesty, about trust. And then he walked slowly around the table and stopped right next to my chair. He looked down at me and said, "I'm surprised to see you here." My mother laughed nervously. "Oh, Amelia is my daughter." But he kept staring at me, then said the sentence that changed everything. "Are you the same Amelia Carter who argued a civil rights case in my courtroom this year?" The table went completely silent. My mother's face lost all color. I had 2 choices. I could lie, or I could be honest. "Yes, sir. I'm an attorney." Lauren's eyes went wide. "You're a lawyer?" The judge nodded. "She's an excellent one. She delivered one of the most impressive arguments I've heard in years." My brother dropped his fork. Lauren turned to Daniel slowly. "Your mom told us Amelia just worked in administration." No one spoke. "Daniel, what exactly do you do?" He hesitated, then admitted it. "I sell cars." Not regional manager, not executive, just a regular sales job. Lauren looked around the table slowly, and she realized the entire evening had been built on lies. Lauren left the table. Her parents followed. The engagement didn't end that night, but it definitely changed. And strangely, I didn't feel victorious. I felt sad, because all I ever wanted was table and be treated like I mattered. Before leaving, I turned to my mother and said the words I'd held in for 34 years. I love you, but I won't keep pretending to be smaller so someone else can look bigger. Then I walked out, and for the first time in my life, I didn't feel invisible. 3 months later, my phone rang again. It was my mom. "I want to hear about your work." It wasn't a perfect apology, but it was a start. And sometimes a start is all you get. Final lesson. The hardest part about setting boundaries with family is realizing the problem was never you. It was the story they needed you to play. And the moment you stop playing it, the truth finally has room to breathe.